Once upon a time, in a jungle, lived a lion. The lion was the king of the jungle, and he had two trustworthy assistants, the crow and the jackal. All three animals will always go and hunt together. They were inseparable. One day there was a lot of gossips going around in the jungle, and the king, the lion, sent the crow to find out what this noise was all about. A new animal had entered the jungle. So the crow spent some time, spoke to a lot of people, found the relevant information, and came back to the lion and said, "Oh, you know what? There's a camel that's been separated from its caravan and has wandered into the jungle. The camel is known for storing food for months together without having to eat or drink to stay alive. And I believe the flesh of the camel is very tasty." The lion says, "Oh, it's amazing news. However, the camel has come to our jungle as a guest. So let's invite him as a guest and treat him as a guest, and we are not allowed to eat the camel." So they go ahead and they invite him as a guest, and instead of 3 people, now there are 4 people who keep going around everywhere together. Once during their hunt, especially with an elephant, the lion hurts itself, because of which the lion is unable to move around. And slowly they start starving for food. Not only the lion, but also the jackal and the crow start starving for food. So now the crow and the jackal kind of team together and they say, "You know what, we have an easy prey over here. Why not we kill the camel? And that's going to be a lot of food for weeks together for us." The jackal says, "See, let's think a little bit. The lion treats the camel as a guest, and he's definitely not going to kill the guest. So how do we convince the lion to go ahead and kill this camel and provide food for us?" After a lot of planning and deliberation, they decide to go to the lion, to go to the camel and say, "You know what, let's go ahead and show our loyalty to the king. Each of us will offer ourselves to the king as prey so that the king can live. It's a sacrifice." And the camel agrees. So all these 3 animals go back to the lion and say, "You know what, you are our king, you are our faith, you are our friend, and we as faithful followers want to make sure you don't go hungry. So I offer myself to you as food." First, the crow offers itself. The king says, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't eat you." Then the jackal offers itself, and the lion says, "I'm sorry, I can't eat you too." Seeing these 2 people offering themselves and being refused by the king, the camel also decides to offer itself as sacrifice. So the camel goes ahead and says, "I offer myself to you as food." And immediately the lion pounces on the camel, and the 3 of them relish the food for weeks to come. If you had keenly watched the story, there are 4 main characters, and each character has a very distinct style in the way they approached a particular problem. The lion was very prudent in its thinking and was very clear about, what it wanted and what it had to say. Its communication was very clear and direct. "As a guest, I cannot harm the camel." The crow, on the other hand, was extremely cautious in getting all the information needed. It went around collecting the information before it gave anything away to the lion. The jackal, on the other hand, was very clear as to, "I know what the lion wants, so I'll have to communicate it in such a way that I'm able to convince the lion." And the camel, the poor camel, was this one particular person who wanted to get along, did not want any strife, and tried to fit in with the particular group. Now there are 4 clear styles of communication that has emerged in the story. Lion, direct; the jackal, which is initiating; the crow, which is analytical; and the camel, which is supportive in nature. Now when I went through my own communication style, for me, direct and initiating have equal weightage. I can switch between these two styles easily. And in general, direct and analytical are opposite to each other. Similarly, supportive and initiating are opposite to each other. So as a person who's very direct in communicating, it is very difficult for me to step into the analytical situation. But the beauty of communication style is to understand your strength and also know where you have to work on. Now I'm just going to take our own group here as example. I'm not going to talk about who is analytical. All of us know who the crow is in the group. So let's say let's say the person is the treasurer and I want some approval for budget from him. There is no point in me being a very direct communicator and saying this is the result I'm going to give. For him, I'll have to translate that result into numbers. If the person is a supportive person, then when I'm going to communicate with that person, I need to give that sense of team bonding and relationship that would be built by that particular activity. Result is important for all four styles, but how I communicate that result to that person is what matters, and that is where knowing that I'm not strong in analytical and I'm like okay when it comes to the supportive style, I know where I have to work on. Thank you so much. Back to our teacher.